Dickens. Just before that, I'll finish reading that later to the.
Read it again, man. Read it again.
Read it again.
Nobody heard you, man, because for some reason you weren't being clicked in. But imagine that the show has begun.
Takes away the moment, but 'twas nights before Christmas, and all through the house, not a virus was stirring. The place was deloused. Dickens. I'll finish reading this to the small children that I don't actually have a little bit later on in the evening. Before that, I was listening to some classic Nat King Cole. All I want for Christmas is a new vaccine. A new vaccine. Yes, a new vaccine. The classics, people, you just can't argue with them. They endure. Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And welcome to our annual Christmas episode, which is a little bit different than our previous Christmas episodes because we're doing it remotely. You know it's a Christmas episode. Otherwise, I wouldn't be wearing this, while I love the product, this absolutely wonderfully horrendous Christmas sweater that was gifted to me by the good people at Jack Daniel's. I am wearing with pride my Steeler Santa cap, despite their 2 losses in a row. We've been exposed. But nonetheless, welcome. It's been a year, has it not? He said as he dropped his microphone. It's been a year. A crazy year. Didn't start off that way. Didn't start off that way at all. Started off with nice round numbers. 2020. Nice. Big. No, in fact, they even had meaning. 2020. Perfect vision for the new year. And then we took our eye off the ball, or maybe just didn't pay enough attention to the ball when it started to roll in a ridiculous, unpredictable, unprecedented direction that none of us were expecting. Oh my God, we've been tested this year. We've endured this year. We've been asked to mask up. We've been asked to step up. In some cases, we've been asked to shut up. I don't want to hear your opinion. I know what I believe. And yet, here we are, still. I hope that this particular podcast tonight finds you healthy and safe as our circles with the virus get smaller and smaller. I know a lot of you probably know somebody. I personally have known a bunch of people who have experienced some tough times with COVID-19. It's actually in my family now as we speak down in Florida. And we just thought that tonight would be a good night to kind of look at the past year, reminisce, take what we've learned and have some sharing moments, some experiences, and what are we going to take into 2021 that might benefit us moving forward. We've got some fun guests who have been on the podcast before, and of course, we are on Facebook Live and YouTube Live to get your comments and maybe let you interject as well. If there's something that you feel passionately about that you want to express, maybe we'll share some of your comments tonight as the evening goes on. Tonight's going to be a night for me anyway, where I count my blessings. I know that sounds corny and maybe cliche, but despite all the crazy things that have happened this year and some of the hardships, at the end of the day, I feel blessed that I have great friends and that I have this podcast, which emotionally and creatively has probably kept me sane and saved my bizarre ass throughout the entire crazy pandemic. And with that note, I could not do it without the two gentlemen that should pop up on screen here in just a moment. There he is, Hansberry and John Whitney. On the audio side, Greg Hansberry, and on the video side, John Whitney.
Hello. Hey, what up?
Hansberry with was that eggnog?
I got the nog.
You got the nog. Oh my
Can't
God.
have a Christmas special without the nog.
You got the nog.
What are you mixing it with?
This bottom shelf whiskey I found, ancient age. I heard
You're supposed to put shit whiskey into the nog. That's actually good whiskey.
Hey, this is the worst stuff I got. I mean, hey. I'm highbrow now.
Highbrow. And Whitney, what are you drinking tonight before I introduce our guest bottle?
Just some old Granddad 114.
Oh, 114.
Hey.
Can't go wrong with the
Look out.
old Granddad. As is our tradition here on Whiskey Business, we always try to introduce a new bottle into the mix, even though maybe it was made by the same people. It might be a different bottle. And tonight, our guest bottle, man, if I don't break it,
You're dropping everything tonight.
I'm dropping everything. This is the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof whiskey, which I had the pleasure of selecting myself when I went down to Lynchburg with the state of Ohio to do barrel picks for the state. So this is one of the bottles that I actually picked. It is 135.1 proof.
Nice.
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 Yeah. Nice.
See you
Yeah.
tomorrow, Dino.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've actually allowed it to benefit from the ice that's in here as well. Yeah. This is one host who's probably going to be slurring his words before the night is all said and done.
You could use that to de-ice your windshield, man. That's
You probably
wrong.
You probably
Come on, man.
Wow.
Is it pretty? It's pretty hot.
How's it?
It's hot, but it's good. It's good. And once the ice gets in there a little bit and opens it up a little bit, it's absolutely delicious. Anybody that got a chance to purchase that when it became available a while back, it's probably thrilled to have it in their Jack Daniel's collection. So I figured I needed to drink some Jack if I was going to wear some Jack.
You look good.
Yeah, this is the only Christmas sweater that I have.
Stand up a little bit, Dale. Let's see it. Stand up
I'm
a
not.
little bit.
I'm afraid. You know what? I've already knocked over my
Oh,
microphone.
that's so true.
I've already broken a bottle. I think the rule for me tonight is to stay seated.
And that's after only one pour of the 130
Stay seated.
whiskey. Well, you're getting some love on Facebook already, Dino, for your Steelers Santa hat. I need your hat. Love your hat. So,
Yeah,
you're looking good, Dino.
Sarah Miller is Steeler fanatic to the extreme, and Christy says, "Love your hat as well." As well, you should. As well, everybody should love this hat and should love the Steelers, which they go up against your Cincinnati Bengals on Monday, John Whitney. And the way
I wonder what's going to happen.
And the way they've been playing, here lately, you got a shot. You got a shot.
No, we don't.
I just don't want to lose to the Browns. at the end of the season before we go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So don't want that to happen. Anyway, I meant what I sincerely and somewhat emotionally said, gentlemen. This podcast, especially this year, has saved my creative ass throughout each and every week that we've done something. If it weren't for the podcast, whether we've done them with people remotely, safe distance them, whatever the case might be, I don't know what I would have done without you two and without having this vehicle to get something out there on a regular basis. I don't know if you feel the same way, not about me, but about the podcast. But I do. I if I'm thankful for things, I am thankful for the friendship that I have with both of you and the professional relationship I have with both of you. We can talk about anything, we can argue about stuff, and we all still come together as a very powerful threesome. which, you know,
Powerful
not the
threesome.
not,
Hey, now.
not the not the
Hey,
not,
hey.
not
Come on
the
now.
not the threesome I envisioned in my youth, but you know, hey,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I appreciate you saying that, Dino. Likewise.
Yeah.
You know what's fun about these shows, and I hope that it translates to the listeners. But you know, we try to be professional, but halfway through, we just start getting a little saucy, and we just start having fun, and we're just goofing around with our friends, and that's to me what it feels like, and it sounds
Right.
like. So I hope that resonates with the listeners, and I agree with you. It's been a fun outlet. And you know, and a reason to drink on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, a good pour,
Perfect reason.
a good conversation over a good pour, which is the only thing we really strive to do on a regular basis over the years, and I think we've been successful at doing that. So, and also successful with all the people that listen, download, watch YouTube, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of fun stuff that's transpired. A lot of interesting guests. This year. Was there any one particular looking at our year in review? If you
Wait, hold on, Dino. Let me do the business real quick.
Oh yeah, okay.
I just want to make sure we get it out of the way.
You would think after starting our 5th
I know,
year that I
right?
would still remember the business, but you know that's why there's you, and that's why there's you.
That's why
Whitney.
we're here.
That's why you're here, because I don't think about that shit.
Well, and it's a special because this time around because we have something to show you here at the end. But yeah, Whiskey Business, the podcast, not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And if you're listening on your favorite podcasting app, thank you very much. If you haven't clicked subscribe already, go ahead and do that. You get a new episode every time we upload them there. Also rate and review us on your favorite podcasting app. That's the best thing you could do for us, for all of the podcasting world to discover us. And if you are listening to us on the podcast and you haven't liked us on social media, this is a perfect reason for you to do so, because we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube right now. And if you're on Facebook, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us. Like us and share us. Just go ahead and click share right now, because we're going to be live here for another hour or so plus. So you might invite a handful of your friends to join us. Would be great. Also, YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis. We've an archive of 5 years of episodes on YouTube, and a lot of cool videos and shorts and stuff, things we've done. And then right here, whiskeybusinesspod.com is our home base, where you can find everything, including the latest whiskey wisdom. This is a holiday themed one.
Yes,
that is out there on social medias and on our website.
It's a good cue for Johnny to cue it up, because we're going to share that with you tonight if you haven't seen it yet.
You want to play it now or wait?
Yeah,
I was throwing it to you now to play, but if you want to wait,
play it now, man. Play it now.
Man, here we go.
I forgot how awesome these are.
Bad doggy. Never get drunk with a mall Santa. He never remembers anything you asked for.
That's true. That's true.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
That piece of wisdom actually comes from a true experience. It was out at Polaris, and I was at was it Molly Woo's, the Asian joint?
Yeah, right there by the entrance.
Out at Polaris Parkway, yeah. And Mall Santa had just gotten off his shift and was still in his garb, and we sat down and started drinking, and and I tied one on with Santa big time. And that's where I said, if I tell you what I want for Christmas, you're gonna remember? He's like, I don't think so. I don't think I want to remember anything. But we had a great night. It was fun. It was a lovely holiday experience.
Nice.
Yeah. So that quote actually came from real life, much like most of the stuff that comes out of my mouth is steeped in some sort of bizarre truth. Dan Tarpey is here for the first time. I don't think I've ever seen Dan Tarpey up here before. A toast to Dino and the gang, and nobody would know better about toasting than Dan Tarpey, because
thanks, Dan.
Yeah, he knows his beverages. That's the business he's in. So Thank you, Dan. Good to hear from you. And Krista, who we've had on the show before, and I told you last week that, or a couple weeks ago, I recently did her 150th podcast. Speak Easily is another one that you guys should pay attention to with Krista Stoffer. Great podcast.
All hoes. I see 3 hoes there. She's
Ho, ho,
calling
ho,
them
yo.
ho.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Well, in some way, we all are, aren't we? Let's be honest.
True.
We all have.
We all
We've all prostituted ourselves in
The
one way or
strong
another.
threesome. What you call it?
One way or the other. Yeah. We've hoarded ourselves out one way or another over the years.
Yeah.
So it's apropos. Apropos indeed. So yeah, my question before the business Hansberry was there any one particular podcast this year that stuck out as a favorite? Yeah, I know. That's a tough call, right?
We had
It's a
so
tough
many.
call.
I have to go back and look at the archives. Recently, this maybe is just because it's top of mind. I had a lot of fun when we had Bucky from the Columbus Ghost Tour on.
I was going to say,
Yeah, that was good.
one of the more riveting podcasts of the year as far as what he had to say and talk about. I can't wait to get back on.
Yeah, and another one that really sticks out is we had Tommy Gallo on from Gallo's restaurant here in Columbus.
Don't call me chef.
What's that?
Don't call me chef.
Don't call me chef.
I actually was going to say him because the reason why is because that was the last one we did at Dino's house before the lockdown.
That's right.
And I remember
Mhm.
when we got done, he was on the phone with somebody, and that was when they had just announced that there was going to be a lockdown. He was sitting there going, "I'm losing my fucking business."
Yep.
He was really worried. I just remember that.
That's the exact same reason. It was almost because of the podcast was great, but it was almost the circumstances in which it went down. And what was cool about Tommy is, don't you remember, he was just so concerned about his staff too. It wasn't. He's like, I'm not. I'll be all right. All my kids, as he called them, all his wait staff and bartenders. He was so concerned about them.
He does. He cares about his staff a lot.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I can tell you what we were drinking that night.
What was it?
That was the Jameson's cold brew.
It
was the one with the coffee and the coffee infused in it.
That's right. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
And with Bucky, we were drinking the Walking Dead, the Walking Dead whiskey.
Yep.
Yeah. Isn't it funny with stuff? Someone said Chase said nice sweater. No, it's not, but it is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
For a Jack Daniel's sweater. Thank you, Che. I can, for some reason, I can remember some of the stuff that we drank, whoever we drank it with. Isn't it funny how you remember
we were more,
shit?
whiskey centric this year more than past, which I think is one of the silver linings of COVID. I think we were exposed to a different audience so we had a lot more of the brand ambassadors and different people kind of reaching out to us, and I think this year more than ever we were dialed into actually talking about whiskey as opposed to
the fact that whiskey people contacted us and wanted to be on Whiskey Business, I took as a huge compliment and a tip of the hat that they wanted to come on here and talk about their products. Old Jack Daniels, Old Forester, Abelar, Scotch, the Road to Abelar. That was a good one recently. Locally as well.
And all the local guys, I feel like we've really became buddies with this year.
We still need to get 451.
Yep.
On
Chad.
I apologize. That's well overdue. Shame on us. That still needs to happen.
We got almost everybody else, haven't we?
Yeah,
just about. There's
Chad, I'll give a plug to Chad. He's a mad genius. I follow him on Instagram, and he is nuts. He's into doing avant-garde sound and like experimental music, and he'll like have these weird delay knobs and tape players, and he just has like this Instagram video of just crazy ass noise, and that just turns me on. So like he's just this creative mad genius.
Is he using them? Is he using them to do anything with his whiskey like they did like they did with the Metallica?
I don't know. I don't think so, but we should talk about it.
Yeah.
We should talk about it.
He should be on the podcast.
Yeah. Let's get him on. Let's ask him.
He should be on the podcast.
Yeah, we should do that.
Throughout the podcast tonight, obviously, I'll be talking to you guys a lot and getting your thoughts and impressions on this year. But before we bring on our first guest for tonight, let me ask you both this question. How do you feel 2020 with everything that's happened and everything that COVID has intentionally or unintentionally affected? What's changed most about either one of you in 2020 as far as your perspective or, what you think about the world, life in general, your families, yourselves? I mean, it could cover any base you want. What do you think has changed the most about either one of you?
I've gotten a lot angrier in traffic myself. There's something like just the other day. I was at a light on a main thoroughfare before I turned left at the light into my neighborhood, and I mean this is like at 4:00 in the afternoon, which is heavy traffic on this thoroughfare.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a person at the light, and they sat there when the light turned green and tried to wave me to go cross the fucking street and to make a left. And I couldn't understand. There was 50 cars behind this place, 50 fucking cars. And it just drove me crazy. So I guess my temper's a little bit, shorter when I'm driving.
A tad more frayed.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
So
I was
you would say
yelling at this person at the top of my lungs, saying, "What are you doing?"
You become a little more impatient, perhaps.
Irritability high.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you've always struck me as a rather irritable person to begin with. Kidding.
You're the most easygoing dude on the planet.
No, the word we use, the unintentionally stoic is what we say about John Whitney. You are so freaking hard to read sometimes because you are so stoic. Like, does he like it? Does he hate it?
Maybe I should start learning how to play poker.
No, I don't.
Poker-based Dino or Johnny.
Hansberry, what about you? What do you think has changed or affected you the most this year?
Yeah, I think to keep it light, you just really have to find the silver linings in things. There's just so much shit going on that you gotta enjoy the small things, or else there's nothing else for you to get off on. For example, today I just made a eggnog run.
Nice.
And I realized that with everybody wearing masks, I can fart in public more often without anybody even noticing. I didn't go straight down like the Kraft mac and cheese aisle and just crop dust away, and no one even is the wiser because they've got their masks on.
Yeah.
That never works for me.
I always said that I'm not. Yeah, not so much for farting, but
SPDs.
But I can talk to myself now, and people don't think I'm crazy because I got the mask on. That was one of the beauties of it.
Yep.
I want to do a shout out to Robbie Sanfilippo, one of the Sanfilippo brothers down in Tampa Bay.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Robbie, who's tuning in tonight. That's a nice surprise. That's usually it's your brother that's tuned in, but Robbie, good to hear from you, man. And Krista Stoffer says that Dino tells more harsh truth in 2020, and that would probably, that almost nails it on the head for me. I have been a lot more honest. And when I say that, it makes it sound like I've been dishonest. I'm not saying I've been, but more vocal about what I think and feel. Things that normally would have outraged me or upset me, and I would have maybe kept to myself, I expressed.
Yeah.
Even on this podcast. This podcast has been also a truth meter for me. I've expressed a lot of the things that I think and feel on this podcast. Not that they were necessarily controversial or anything like that, but they were honest. And I have noticed one thing, that sometimes there's some ugly things that you don't like about yourself that become exposed. And I don't like the degree of unconscious cynicism that crept up and out of me over the course of 2020. Things that I became very cynical about and realized that I didn't have as much patience for as I realized. And that has been an interesting revelation for me personally. So, yeah. So, Krista, you kind of are right. There were some harsh truths in 2020 and some interesting harsh discoveries about, just yourself in general, how you adapt to a situation. I mean, some people have adapted well to everything that has happened and gone on. Some people have actually prospered, depending on what facet of life you're in or what type of business that you're in. Not everybody has taken a blow, if you will, throughout this pandemic. Some people have actually
gun shop owners
and done well. It's interesting, but it's been a tough year.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why I'm trying to make light of it, because you could see
no,
all day long about it, and
if we didn't have
to be employed and not sick, so it's easy for me to kind of joke about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the circles keep getting smaller and smaller. Yeah. My sister celebrated a birthday this week, and what was her birthday present? Tested positive for COVID. Her husband tested positive just a week before. Interesting how he found out that he might have the COVID. And once again, we make jokes about our whiskey, how our whiskey has kept us COVID free, which is actually got a little bit of scientific proof to back that up. Yes.
No way.
If you read more French medical journals like I do, Hansberry, you'll find the validation for everything that you need. Yes, according to a medical journal in France, whiskey drinkers are less likely to get COVID than anybody else. All right. And the reason my brother-in-law went and got tested is because he could not smell or taste his bourbon.
Oh, that's a huge red flag.
And that was a huge red flag. If it were not for whiskey, who knows when he would have gotten tested? And who knows, as a result, how many other people he may have exposed unconsciously or unintentionally as a result of not getting tested. Whiskey kept him from being a super spreader.
Is that what it was? It wasn't like not being able to taste his Fruit Loops.
It wasn't Fruit Loops. It was whiskey. Yeah, it was whiskey. So yeah, interesting. So, but they're doing everything that they're supposed to do right now in the process of doing their proper protocols and isolating and so forth and so on. And so far, they're just experiencing some cold and flu symptoms and nothing really, really serious. So I hope that remains the case as they get through it. But as we both know, others have not been as fortunate, and I don't want to go down that path. This is supposed to be our Christmas episode. We're supposed to be happy and cheery, but you can't ignore the truths either. So it's Chrissy Ross says, "I'm never getting COVID. Thanks, whiskey."
Yeah, Chrissy. That's my cousin. I think it's in the blood.
Is that what you mean, the whiskey or
both?
Well, don't you find it a bit, and I don't believe in coincidence at all, but don't you find it a bit interesting that the three of us
You're gonna jinx it.
Have all right, you're right. I'm gonna knock wood. Knock on the knock. The three of us haven't had so much as a sniffle.
Oh, I've had yeah.
Sorry. Kidding.
All
right. Moving on, shall we? Let's we're running behind already just because we've been who's our first guest tonight?
I think Johnny Boy.
John Osbeck is our first guest tonight, who's been sitting patiently in the green room. There he is. Hey. John Osbeck, who's been on us before. If you have to go to a whiskey business archive, might I suggest Happy Christmas with John Osbeck and I. One that was before the Whitney era when we were videotaping. God, I wish that would have been on video. If that would have been on video, Johnny, that would have been gold, baby, gold.
Awesome. Yeah. It's still audio gold, but yeah.
The Happy Christmas episode with Osbeck that we did a couple years ago. You remember that one?
That's the menorah that I brought over.
What night of Hanukkah are we in now?
Well, it's only showing 2 because the other ones have already burnt down.
I see.
Oh, okay.
This is the 7th night. So
Seventh night. So we got one
night.
more left.
One more
Yeah.
night.
Have you gotten a gift every night? Have you gotten a gift of some sort, like
No.
for Hanukkah?
So yeah, and you know, if you do go back and listen to that episode, we talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
Listeners, you should check it out. But some people do that, and some people don't. I've never done it. We get together. We combine it because my mom's birthday is early in December, so it's usually Hanukkah and my mom's birthday, and that's what we did. So, but I also didn't want to feel left out. So, you guys all have really great festive hats.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. What do you got?
Nice.
You spin me right round. It's a dreidel hat. It's a dreidel hat. Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Wait a minute. It's missing something. I feel like.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
There you go.
Oh
I'm
man!
glad we invited him after all.
Wow!
I'm so jealous.
Wow! That's about that's about all we could afford for special effects on this podcast. would be that. Are you taking it off already? That's it.
I was wearing it for a while. I got real warm.
I know. I'm burning up right now.
Yeah. My head's getting warm as well. I could burst into flames here any second. Between that and the 135 proof whiskey,
Well,
I may
had the candles behind me with the heat.
I may spontaneously combust. Wouldn't that be the best podcast ever? Your brother chimed in. Oh, I thought we were having a good guest.
Yeah, I don't have a brother.
Yeah, there you go.
I befriended him on the last podcast when he said Happy Gilmore was the greatest sports movie of all time.
Yes.
So me and Eric simpatico.
There you go.
So, Johnny Osbeck.
Yeah.
What have you? What's been your takeaway from 2020? Whether it's a humorous one, a serious one, whatever the case might be, as you reflect, and I know you do. We hang out quite a bit. We talk in depth and length about a lot of things. But for our audience tonight, what would be one of your takeaways from 2020 that you would like to share?
Well, I will. I'll share this because I think it gets down to what this year has made me think about and appreciate. And it's actually the third prayer that you say for Hanukkah, and you only do it on the first night or the first time that you light the Hanukkah, the menorah. And if you'll let me, I'll share the prayer with you.
Sure, man. Absolutely.
And this is actually it's like one of the few Hebrew prayers that I remember. But it's Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehekiyanu b'himanu b'higiyanu lazman hazeh. And what that says is, "Blessed art thou, Lord our God, King of the universe." It always starts out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Who has granted us life, who has sustained us, and enabled us to reach this season. And it's, I think I'm just really thankful. You know, you talk about having scares. I love my brother. I was just messing around. You know, he had a scare with it. And we know friends of ours who have family who have had the COVIDs and are fighting for their lives on a respirator.
Mm-hmm.
And to just be able to be here, to be with friends, the fact that whatever, you know, a king of the universe or whatever, you know, the fact that we've all been able to be here, be together, that we've been able to sustain and reach this time together.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just thankful for that. And I think more so on top of that, or added on top of that, I'm really thankful, not only more appreciative of having my family around, but also I think I've really just, as far as friends, it's like the field has narrowed down to those who are really important.
Yeah, it has done that. Your circle, the wide circle of friends and acquaintances if you've been trying to keep yourself in a certain social bubble, you start to realize, as that circle gets smaller, who you want to hopefully bring in, provided, of course, they're of the same thought process as you as far as keeping safe and so forth and so on. There have been some people that I haven't seen for a while because they've been a little less than concerned. To put it politely,
little liberal in their
it's like, which that's fine. That's what you do. That's what you believe. That's how you feel. It's not how I feel. Until this is all said and done, I'll catch up to you later. And so, but it's I totally get that. The prayer, is your phone handy, Osbeck? Is your phone? Do you have the do you have the prayer that I sent you on your phone still, or is that?
I thought you were going to ask for some picture. You have that picture you could delete.
On the first day of Hanukkah, I sent him, and I don't mean to be sacrilegious at all. It was meant in good humor.
I'm Reformed Jewish,
but I sent him. This is what someone of not of the Jewish faith would say on Hanukkah if they were trying to fake their way through a Hanukkah prayer.
Oh, great! This is going to be good.
Yeah, you have it.
I have it.
All right. Now, remember how eloquent he was in reciting his earlier prayer, and this is what I said to him on the first night of Hanukkah.
And I'm going to try to remember what it was supposed to say in the one part. Hang on, let me just look.
Melatonin.
Yeah, okay. That's what it was. All right, here we go.
Go.
The Whiskey Business 2020 Hanukkah Prayer. Hanukkah, Monica, Barack Obama, Melatonin Macaroons, Carvana Telecom, Bacula Bioshostacola.
That's Shasta-Cola, not Shasta-Cola.
Shasta. It was the Hebrew-esque of me.
And I will send a bottle of whiskey that anybody that picked up on the Scott Bakula, Scott Baio references in there at all. I doubt anybody did. But yes, I sent that to you as your first gift of the Hanukkah season. That's what somebody who is not of the Jewish faith would try to, if they were trying to pretend to mutter and stumble through a Hanukkah prayer.
Hey, look. All that aside, Hanukkah was about when the Greek Syrians defiled the temple. How better to come full circle than for you and I to be best friends?
With the Greeks, we defiled your temple?
That's in what way exactly?
I'm sorry.
That's
you say we defiled your temple. Does that mean that we just partied and didn't clean up afterwards? or did we? What did we do? What did we do to defile? Defile is such a strong, harsh word. Did we piss and shit all over the place?
In Judean times, putting an altar, like taking over the temple and putting an altar to Zeus, was
defilement.
Yeah, Zeus was
really wasn't looked at as
that's just not cool, man. Just not cool.
And then when the pigs were starting to be slaughtered inside the temple, like
that's where you draw the line.
I guess they did. The Maccabees were like, "All right, that's it. We could the Zeus thing."
Yeah, and they were just trying to piss you guys off at that point. You know what I mean?
But look, seriously.
The Maccabees, they live 3 doors down from me.
I borrowed some eggnog from them last week.
They do. Yeah, George Maccabee sells insurance.
I think that might be the Maccabees. The Maccabees.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, man, you were invited tonight. Not that other people weren't invited tonight because they're not good friends, but everybody else said no. But I wanted you on because it's still Hanukkah, and I wanted to embrace the season as well. So I appreciate you being on, man, and sharing some thoughts with us. I do.
John, I've got one more day for my Hanukkah card to you guys to arrive.
Oh no, it did arrive today, and I love it.
Made it.
Whitney was one of the few people I got an actual Christmas card from.
I got one too. Thanks, John.
That makes two if you count my Lincoln dealership.
Hey man, Jen is Jen's idea. Who I must be thankful for this year because we've been living very close quarters all year long. But her idea was to go ahead and start doing Christmas cards again.
Yeah,
bringing it back.
Yeah.
That's happening for us too. Except I think they're going to be New Year's cards by the time we get them done. Because Jennifer is she's a photographer, so she's really busy through this season. So
happy MLK Jr. Day.
Right, exactly.
And you have to figure out exactly who really loves you, who is worth a fucking stamp. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know everybody's addresses anyway.
Stamps are huge.
And in the gesture of your lovely card, which was both a Christmas card and a Hanukkah card together.
Because it's for both you guys. So.
This is an observation that I just made recently. The menorah, people are familiar with the menorah, right? It's got the 4 with the 1 in the middle. So it's 4 on each side, 8 for the 8 days, and then the 1 in the middle you light the rest with. Does anyone else think it looks strangely like Marty Moose?
No, that's the best. Yeah. That could be a menorah. You could figure something out with that.
That's an awesome. Is that from Christmas Vacation?
It is.
I was gonna say it looks like Christmas Vacation.
Those are amazing. Those are amazing. That's amazing drinkware right there.
Yeah.
Like coincidence?
That's no.
I think not.
I think not. I think not. I also want to do a self-indulgent plug because Osbeck is here and Whitney is here, and unfortunately, the scene we had for Hansberry was cut out of it. But the three of us recently collaborated on a short film which will be released.
We're going to release. We can release it tonight.
What, Supper?
Yeah, because I finally got it's finally got its own page and everything. So.
Oh wow! All right, yeah. John Whitney's excellent cinematography was a part of it, and Osbeck and I concocted a short little film called Supper, which apparently now we'll be able to release here to the masses soon.
Sweet.
But once again,
the part of the
Uber driver role was cut out. Hansberry. Once again, I apologize.
We try to keep in, and
it's okay. I get it.
Edit after edit, and it finally hit the cutting room floor. I'm sorry.
But you talk about how people come together. Earlier in the year, Whitney and I were sitting on the front porch saying, and John was like, it was like the old 1940s movie, like, let's put on a show. I got a barn. I got costumes. Basically he said, let's make a film. I've got this equipment. I got to get it back. And we sat there and tried to come up with an idea, and we racked our brains. And finally we said, how can two people who have made a bevy of short films and feature films not come up with an idea? And then that was the idea. Two frustrated screenwriters who can't come up with an idea, and thus Spitballing was created, which we shot with our good friend Ralph Scott, which is absolutely just so absurdly funny and available on YouTube as we speak.
We got to do another comedy short here real soon, man. I'm getting itchy again.
But my point being is that
I'm always available for work. But
those two separate moments also, when I talk about creativity being the savior for me, this podcast, the creative outlets. I mean, working with my friends and creating these excellent pieces of cinema, be they extremely ridiculously absurd like Spitballing, or very serious and intense like Supper. It just the fact that I get to work with my friends and do this. It's the best.
It carries you through. It carries you through. I mean, I know it's carried me through, and I will say this to the whiskey business audience as well: prepare yourself, because if you've seen Spitballing, when you watch Supper, this is Dino like you haven't seen him. He is amazing in this. an incredible performance.
Very good.
And,
Very good. Yeah.
paid me well to say that, but man,
I quote John Whitney before we started shooting. How do we get Dino? I read the script. How do we get Dino not to be Dino? Is what you said. Is what you said. Is what you said.
That was one of my notes. Yeah.
we had
That
a
was
table.
one of my notes.
It's like, John, I had a table read. We talked about it. We rehearsed it. We're good.
Yeah. It was fun, but once again, it wouldn't have happened without
acting.
With acting. Thank you.
Okay.
Without the creative efforts of everybody involved. Our next guest coming up here in just a moment or so helped us out with spitballing in a lot of ways, interjecting and being present and so forth and so on. And he's been part of Whiskey Business in and out, and also the premise. Oh, I miss the premise so much,
dude.
You guys, I miss being in front of a live audience like that.
Those
Down
are
at
so great.
Shadowbox.
They were really rolling too.
They were just so much fun. Hopefully we get back to that in 2021.
Yeah.
Osbeck, hang out on the virtual couch, so to speak, as we bring in our good friend Chip Cosell, who there he is.
Oh
Good
man!
Chip.
Talk
Hi,
about
guys.
Nice hat.
Anybody that if there is a go-to guy that would help out no matter what we asked for, whether it was help us out on a film, help us out on the podcast, help us out with the premise, go get sandwiches, whatever the case might be. Chip is probably one of the most gracious and generous people that I know that you can count on for just about anything when it comes to what we do here on Whiskey Business, and just as a friend, man.
It's true.
You're a quality go-to guy, man, and thank you so much for being a part of everything we've done on Whiskey Business.
Well,
He even takes it upon himself to do Whiskey Business commercials.
I know.
Yeah.
He makes his own Whiskey Business
He's out chopping wood.
Yeah. No, I mean,
They have absolutely nothing to do with us. He didn't ask us. He doesn't. He just does them. Like you said, he could be chopping wood. He could be shopping for groceries.
Mowing his lawn.
Mowing his lawn, whatever the case might be. And all of a sudden, it's a Whiskey Business plug.
If you want to watch a quality podcast, think about Whiskey Business.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
What do you say about that?
Well, that's very
like
kind of you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you. I'm not used to that kind of thing. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, sometimes I'll be like mowing the lawn or something, and the light looks really cool, and I would say to myself, God, I wish I could shoot something, but I don't have anything to shoot, so I'll just make up a plug for your podcast, a commercial for your podcast. And that's how it started. So that's like, hey, this would be great for a great moment for a plug for the podcast, So I shared them with you. I call them like my little just for the grins,
But
Right.
Chip, one thing you have to do, though, you have to actually share them in order to be a plug.
I didn't know if it was something you wanted me to do, to share it. I didn't know
what you want to do, but just post them.
Yeah.
Man. They're fun.
Yeah, I know. Well, I thought about it.
You know what? We've already heard the damn podcast.
Yeah, man. So I would do that, but I really wanted just to share it with you guys, and because I don't know. I just thought, is it on brand for Whiskey Business? I don't know. It's up to you, Dino.
I don't know what our brand is. I mean, maybe that's part of the problem. We don't have the brand.
No, man. Those were fun. I like doing that because it was early on and everybody's cooped up, and I really wanted to do something creative. I wasn't getting a lot of auditions through my agency, and everything's basically shut down. And I thought, well, you know what? Everybody always says if you want to do something creative, do it yourself. So that's why I just started doing it and sharing it with you guys. I think I posted one of them, but I don't know. But they were fun, and what inspired me was actually Hansberry. Yeah, there he goes. He just fell off his chair. Okay, so Hansberry, there you are. Okay.
My records keep falling down. There's a ghost back here.
No, Hansberry, that one time you said, hey, it's the season for mowing your lawn or something like that. And then Dino made fun of you for saying something like that. I thought, that is so
Do you
funny.
make fun of me? No.
That is so
No.
funny. No, it was like just that was the hook. Like it's the season for mowing your lawn. It's the season for, grilling out and raking your leaves. And fall came around and I was like, well, it's the season for raking your leaves. You know what I mean? So I do that. I listen to Whiskey Business.
No, I think now I actually know what you're talking about because I always listen to podcasts mowing the lawn.
Yeah,
And I listen during the summer. I listen to 3 times the amount of podcasts because I'm outside doing yard work.
Yeah, and then when things were looking grim, we would go out to my in-laws' cabin. They have a cabin in the middle of the woods, and it's so desolate and alone out there. And I was just like, this would be great for a Whiskey Business podcast plug. So I did one at the cabin, like, if you're hunkering down in the woods like me,
You know what they remind me of? It was back when they remind me of when and I'm dating myself. They remind me of and I was a kid when this was on television, but they remind me of the back in the days where they would actually plug cigarettes on television before the cigarette advertising was all said and done. And he's like, when I'm mowing the grass and I'm making sure that everything's nice and even, I like to listen to Whiskey Business. When I'm mowing the grass, and after I get done mowing the grass and making sure everything's nice and even, I like to light up a good Winston. It's got that same kind of feel.
Thank you.
You and I are satisfaction.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah,
those are fun. I'll post them. I never really thought about posting for everybody to see. It was just for you guys, but
post away, brother, man. Post away. They're all fun.
Yeah.
They're all good.
I mean, there's more seasons coming up. There's shoveling snow season, right?
I love that. My favorite fucking season.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're sneaking out to your man cave to drink season.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I'm doing right now. This is my man cave.
It's where you stay all the time, isn't it? Isn't it, Chip? Is that
where I go to think? Is
that a cot back there?
You've been kicked out of the home, haven't you, Chip? Go ahead. It's okay. Nobody's listening. Just us.
Oh,
it's just
boy,
us.
you guys. No, you're hilarious. Hey, it gets pretty. It's almost like that. I live in a very small house, and everybody has their own room. And my wife works from home, so she took over the living room as her office. And the kids are doing remote learning, and I've got 3 kids. One of them's in college doing remote learning from college, and she has a basement room, but the other 2 are like sequestered in like either the dining room or their own bedroom or that basement area. So it's pretty crowded in here,
Yeah.
You got a nice stash of WD-40 back there, I see.
I was checking that out, man.
What were you looking at? What
is that?
WD-40.
Just, I'm
got a radio back there.
Much like with everything that's been remote, with everybody, talk shows, et cetera, people have been drawn to the backgrounds of things. So I'm like, I've been fascinated by what's in the background of your world. What is going on there? I think there's something. I think there's the humble beginnings of maybe a time machine of some sort.
Go back in time and warn everybody.
That's back in there that you're working on. It's because you look in the background of me. I moved my seat tonight so you could get a little glimpse of. There's the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and some Santa things in the back.
That's awesome.
Most of the holiday stuff is in the other room this year. Normally it's in this bar, but And look at Ozbek's background.
His is perfect.
You're so.
That's perfect as a scarf.
Here's
the whole wall. It's
great. I love it. That's amazing.
Ozbek, your background is so meticulously perfect. I don't even think you're at your own house.
Yeah, I think
I don't even think you're home. I think you're in a museum. You're in a museum. You're in a museum.
I gotta go.
He's getting kicked out. They're closing IKEA.
You're on some sort of set You're not
No.
even home.
Just ready for the whole thing. They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's just a silk. They're gonna fly it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. No, clearly,
Hansberry,
everybody's background is clearly a physical manifestation of their mental state.
Hansberry, what's the album? What's the album? I can't see
I
it.
had a couple that keep falling. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton,
Oh.
Christmas.
Oh,
there you go.
Dolly Parton,
Yeah.
nice.
Once
Yeah,
Upon a
man.
Christmas. Yeah, it's a classic.
Very
favorite
nice.
Family
That's
Hansberry
nice.
favorite.
Favorite Christmas song, Whitney. Favorite Christmas song.
Oh, White Christmas, of course. Come on.
Is it really?
Oh, that's
Bing
great.
Crosby, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Chip, favorite Christmas song.
Yeah. It's a tie between White Christmas and Baby It's Cold Outside.
Hansberry, favorite Christmas song.
It's got to be Mariah Carey. All I Want for Christmas is that song. It might be the best song ever. Not even just Christmas song. Best song ever.
My wife hates that song.
Osbeck.
Thank you.
He can still like Christmas songs.
Probably the best for that.
I said, no, man. I mean, no, you celebrate Christmas as well. Your wife is not Jewish, so I'm sure favorite.
faith.
I'm sure a Christmas song is leaked into your consciousness.
Oh well, come on. I love "Hark the Herald Angels Sing."
Oh,
Really?
Really? Wow.
Because of the Charlie Brown Christmas?
I think it might stem from that, but then I love the Frank Sinatra version.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
It's beautiful.
For me, Nat King Cole Christmas song, Chestnuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And depending on there's every once in a while there's a version of Silent Night that'll make me tear up, depending on who's singing it. So okay, just a quick spontaneous question.
And
If you,
I got a chance to see Harry Connick back when he was traveling with his big band.
So did I. We were at the same show, Christmas
That's
show.
right. Yes.
I was there too.
You were there
Was that
too.
not?
Yep.
It was amazing. That was
Yep,
one
I
of
was
the
there too.
You were there, and you were
No
there.
way.
one of
I was
the
there.
best live, one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Boy,
It's almost
Man.
like it was great that it was Christmas music, and then you were kind of bummed out that he didn't get to do everything else.
everything else, but
that he does.
I like getting goosebumps thinking about that concert.
That was at the Palace, right? It was at the
Yeah.
Palace.
It was
Yep.
at the Palace.
Mhm.
Yep.
So good, so good.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
he's
was there,
a
baby.
rock star.
Yeah. No, that's great stuff. And when you listen to your Christmas music, does anybody listen to Hansberry? I know you do. You listen to them on vinyl. That's
Oh, yeah,
my
baby.
favorite way to listen. I like the cracks and the crinkles in my vinyl when I'm
Because if
listening.
it's a good Christmas record, it's old,
Right.
so it's
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Chip,
Exactly.
you got a record player out there? You got a vinyl player out there yet?
We do. We have. Oh, not here. I don't have one in the man cave. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You got-
Yeah, I do. We got a couple of them in the house though. That vinyl that we put the vinyl on. It's really good.
I was.
I love that. Love the vinyl.
I think you need an appropriate one to the man cave.
For the man cave. Yeah. Hey, I hear you. I know what you're talking about.
We're getting a few comments on Facebook. Chrissy, I don't know if you can pull those up, John. Chrissy's California Raisins Christmas special. Oh, and I want a hippopotamus.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Whoever the little
Eartha
baby,
Kitt, is that right?
Eartha Kitt,
Yeah.
Santa baby, the best
Oh,
Yeah,
Santa
Eartha
baby
Kitt
ever.
version. Yes, not the
Is the
Madonna
best
version.
one. Is the best
Yeah.
one.
Not the
Eric
Madonna version,
says
not the
12 beers
Madonna
of
version.
Christmas.
Oh no, I heard that one the other day, Chip.
Bob and Doug McKenzie. Yeah, anything that parodies
And a
12
beer.
Days of Christmas is too fucking long.
12 beers of
Anything
Christmas.
that parodies the 12 Days of Christmas is too long. Too long.
No, you're right. You're right.
I don't know, Eric.
Two hosers hosing.
It-
I remember when it first came out, I thought it was funny and I laughed, and then like, oh my god. And
You know what I like? I like every couple of years, someone will come out and do an interview with random man on the street kind of thing. Hey, what's the seventh day of Christmas? You know, and they like try to figure out 7 ladies piping. I don't know. You know, like nobody knows.
seven swans
Yeah.
are swimming.
But there you go.
6
You
geese
know
are laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3
Yeah.
French hens, 2 turtle doves, and partridge family in a pear tree.
Partridge Fan. And it always makes the news how much it would cost if one were to go out and buy
all those items,
it would cost
yeah.
$12,396.
Who would do that?
Yeah,
Somebody has.
I was going to mention there's actually Jen and I watched a documentary. I think it was on Hulu, and it was a documentary about a guy who was obsessed with Christmas music, but like old Christmas music on vinyl. And the name of it was I think it was Amazon Prime. The name of it was Jingle Bell Rocks. I would highly suggest this.
I'm gonna watch it
because the guy had thousands of. He would go to record stores just to get the weirdest songs on vinyl, and it's very interesting. Actually, it's kind of crazy.
Sweet. Sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah. Me too. Yep, for sure.
Cool.
And all Christmas, just all Christmas themed.
He collects all Christmas music, and people think he's crazy. Actually, he was in the closet for a long time because he was afraid to say what he collected because people thought he was weird. And there's scenes him going into New York record shops and saying, "Where's your Christmas section?" They kind of look at him like, "What? The fuck are you talking about?"
Christmas section?
Yeah, the Christmas section. Yes.
This is one of my pride and joys. It's the Home Alone soundtrack on vinyl.
That's
Nice.
There we go.
Got some great
Come on.
Yeah,
good.
it's great. Which is going to bring up my next question. But before we get to my next,
The next one.
Gene Autry. We were just talking about this before. Gene Autry did not want to do that song.
No way.
It was originally a promotional idea for Montgomery Ward department stores, and they wanted Gene Autry to sing it. And when he first got it, he goes,
"What the fuck is this shit?
I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
I don't want to do this." It ends up being one of the most beloved Christmas songs of all time, and obviously, what it's become.
Do you think he got a piece of that action, or do you think he got screwed over like most actors back in the day?
I don't know.
I don't know. Autry was loaded. My mom's dad's mother's side of the family are Autrys. So he was like he's like my grandpa's second cousin once removed or something crazy. So I have never gotten a royalty check, but
right.
I doubt he did either.
Before I move on to my next question with the forum, it's a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot. But Osbeck, how extensive is your Hanukkah record collection?
It's deep, real burn. I think my favorite album is Rebbe Springfield's What Is This?
What is this?
What's this? Adam Sandler has a third version of the Hanukkah song out now.
A third version of the same song.
Adam Sandler.
Osbeck, is there an entire Hanukkah album out there?
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah.
They're all Hanukkah songs.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, for real.
Yeah, for real.
Yes. Yeah. And there's been a lot of like symphony scores for Hanukkah music.
Oh,
what about like Barbara Streisand? Does she count? Barbara Streisand, does she do a Hanukkah album?
She does. Her and Neil Diamond, they both do Christmas albums.
There you go.
Let me go get this.
Hey,
I got a songbook.
People, Osbeck, he goes away. And this, I hope I'm not politically incorrect when I say this, but people in of the Jewish faith have put out some of the most spectacular secular Christmas albums of all time.
I think you're right.
Barbara Streisand has one of the best Christmas albums of all time. Neil Diamond, when Neil Diamond pours his heart and soul into everything he does with his Christmas stuff. So yeah, you know what?
One of the Muppets is Jewish.
Happy Hanukkah,
one of the Muppets is Jewish as well.
I love Nog.
Osbeck, I don't know what Osbeck.
And I know for his Hanukkah Christmas book.
And before we get to one more topic, I know that Hansberry, just for those of you who are tuning in right now, don't go anywhere because Hansberry has something musically selected for us that he's going to share for the first time. Right? He's going to premiere it. Premiere it right here on tonight's podcast, right?
I'm releasing a record. I wanted to.
There he is. There he is.
What you gave up?
What's up?
We stalled so you could do this. So you could wave your hands down and say, "Yeah, never mind."
It's here somewhere.
What were you looking for? At least tell me that.
The songbook that I have that I play Hanukkah songs.
Okay.
Really? Like
Yeah.
I
Like a-
believe
Oh,
you.
sure,
I
it's
believe
right
you.
there,
I
John.
believe you.
like sheet music? No, what?
We'll find it later.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So.
I don't believe you.
He's full of it.
Is anybody in that house that can help you find it?
No, Osbeck. No.
It's there with the extra oil.
Osbeck, come back.
Come back.
Hansberry's coming to do his thing.
Come back.
I believe you.
Come on, sit down.
I believe
Sit down.
you. I believe you.
There you go.
We're running
Somewhere in
out
there.
of
Oh my
time.
God. Oh,
Oh, what is that?
That's a lot of Hanukkah music.
oh man.
Yeah, that's my stack of Hanukkah music.
You know I tease with love. You know that. You know I tease with love. Hansberry, before we get to a couple more topics here, I know we're running behind already. I don't really care. It's Christmas, and this is our last podcast of the year, so I don't care how goddamn long it goes. Hansberry, what have you prepared for us? I'm very intrigued.
Well, hold on. First, I'm going to take off the. Can you get?
All right, he's taking off the headphones.
Nope, can't hear you.
John,
Can you hear me? Can I do this, John?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay.
Osbeck,
Yeah.
are you okay? You still look rattled. Osbeck, you okay? You okay? You're all right. You're all
I'm
right.
fine.
right.
I am a little rattled. I don't know where my Hanukkah music went.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's okay.
Somebody may have stolen it.
Okay.
Let's
All
see.
right.
can
Oh,
hear.
Hansberry's got the guitar out.
Yeah. Well, it's,
So
I've got
this
to
is-
do. Go ahead.
No, this isn't pre-recorded. You're doing it live.
Yeah, this is live.
Wow. Okay,
Live.
man. All right.
So I'm just want to give you guys a little preview. I got a new Christmas record that I'm getting ready to drop. You can find it on all my social media platforms. But it's called Merry Christmas, Baby Yoda. Okay. So it's Merry Christmas, Baby Yoda. And hold on, let me just make sure I get switch my hat here.
Oh, and this is amazing.
Wow.
I love it already.
Wow.
All right. So these are all original Christmas songs. Let's see. Can you hear all right if I do this here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Santa, bring my baby Yoda back to me. Santa, bring my baby Yoda back to me. I don't need a lot of presents to make my Christmas bright. I just need my baby Yoda's arms wound around me tight. Oh, Santa, hear my plea. Santa, bring my baby Yoda back to me. Santa, bring my baby Yoda back to me.
God.
Santa, bring my baby Yoda back to me. So that's just just a select.
I don't know what's sadder.
Amazing.
I don't know what's sadder. I don't know if what you're wearing, Hansberry, is sadder, or the fact that John Whitney has a Yoda wrapped up in a baby Yoda wrapped up in a blanket that obviously he cares for
That is
deeply.
amazing.
He does.
That's amazing.
This is his clothes, not a blanket. Thank
Not
you
a
very much.
blanket,
Yeah,
okay.
That's
Yeah.
I mean,
wardrobe.
And his name is Grogu. His name is Grogu. Stop dead naming him.
all everyone, baby Yoda, Grogu. I got one more, and we're not afraid of a little bit of controversy. No way. And actually, this one maybe you guys could even help join in singing a little bit if you want.
I doubt it, but go ahead.
But it's a controversial song, but me and Baby Yoda, we don't steer clear from any controversy. I really can't stay, Baby Yoda. It's cold outside. I've gotta go away,
Baby Yoda, it's cold outside.
The evening has been, Baby
Yoda, it's
outside, so very nice. So that's just a taste. My new record, Christmas Baby Yoda, will be out
Nice.
in all your Amazon stores.
no copyright infringements there.
Amazing, Hansberry. Yeah. Maybe it's cold.
Thank you.
And obviously, you've done have you done a politically correct version of "Baby It's Cold Outside"?
No,
One that doesn't-
we're not afraid of controversy. We'll
Controversy.
dive right in.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Krista
It's
says,
too hard.
"Whitney, if you nurse that thing, I'm gonna hurl."
Ooh, that was close.
Oh no.
It's not real.
Hey, Ozbek, what are you drinking, by the way, Ozbek? No one knows what you drink. I got the Tom's Foolery bourbon.
You got the Tom
Yeah,
Foolery.
what are you drinking? Ozbek?
Since we're going back to ancient times for Hanukkah,
Yeah.
ancient age.
Oh, there you go. I did this because it's I'm from Cleveland, and so this is the Cleveland one, and Hansberry has the H&H.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
But he's mixing it with eggnog, which I've never understood. I've never warmed up to eggnog on any level whatsoever.
Why does it not curdle?
I don't know. I don't even care.
It's a miracle. It's one of the 8
why it doesn't curdle. And once again, I remember the whiskeys and the guests. Chip, you're drinking a Tom Foolery. You had that with Tommy at the barbershop.
That's right. I showed up for that one. I really liked that.
Yes, you did.
I like
that.
I really love
Are you tasting the apple? Are you tasting the apple in the Tom Foolery?
I am tasting the apple. You're right. Yeah, there's definitely some apple flavoring there. Definitely. I can totally taste that.
Because they started out with apple brandy up there, and then they moved into the whiskeys. So
it's good. It's a good one. I liked it then. I had a little taste of it at the barbershop, and it was really good. I thought, man, I gotta get that. So I happened to see it at the store when I was
me some of that.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah. I missed the last year we had remember last year's Christmas
Christmas
party.
show was a hoot.
Oh my God, that
Christmas
was
show.
so much fun.
I had no wasn't. I knew that this year's broadcast would not even come close to last year's. Last year's was so much fun with the people.
Yeah, I was pretending I was coming in from a cold winter storm, and I wanted to recreate that Bing Crosby.
Right.
The whole vibe going on with, hey man, it's snowing out there, and ironically tonight it is snowing out there, and it's like crazy. And outside the man cave, there's snow coming down. It's really cold out tonight. But last year there was nothing on the ground. But that was so fun.
I treasure that podcast because that was prior to us getting into 2020 and all of us being optimistic about the new year and not having any clue that we would be.
We did a white elephant too.
The white elephant that we would be faced with everything that we've been faced with this year. So
you even said 2020 is going to be a great year. You can't
well, don't listen to me.
We're off on that one.
Don't listen to me. I mean, but no, everybody goes into a new year optimistically, and I'm going into 2021.
Yeah, you have good reason to be optimistic for 2020.
Well, what else? What are my choices?
We've got election, the election, the virus, the COVID vaccine. We got some stuff going on that's going to make things like do a turn on.
Look at that!
It'll be great.
John's dog.
How could 2020 be bad with a guy like this?
Oh, it can't. It can't.
There it is.
It's a great little doggy.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, that's a great dog.
That's Murphy.
That is Murphy.
That's a good dog. Good dog.
Is that a poodle or is that a mix?
Yeah, it is a poodle mix.
Is it a Labradoodle?
Golden doodle.
A golden doodle.
Oh, I've got the doodles. I've got 2 big old black ones.
It's so funny.
Doodle dogs.
Stuffed animal puppy. It's his little puppy.
Nice.
Yeah, my dogs would call that their girlfriend. Is it like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I have like 2 little like Pomeranians. They're awful. They're great. Gotta love them.
They're awful.
They chew up and hump everything that moves. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's nutty.
Hansberry, you say that Chrissy Breaky Ross is your cousin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's drinking Sagamore's Spirit Distiller Select tonight. It's a night's drink. So
I asked her where it's from. It sounds good.
No, Sagamore actually, they are yet another distiller who has contacted us and wants to be on the podcast.
Nice.
Oh, no kidding! That's great.
Down the road. So
where are they? Where are they from? Where are they out of?
He asked me too quickly as I'm drinking my 135 whiskey. Yeah.
And another thing.
But
They're from that
place.
Baltimore.
They're from that place.
Baltimore. It says on the. Oh, Chris.
I remember the rep. The rep was from Philadelphia, so
right.
That I came across. So yeah, but we'll try to get them on as well next year.
This is very tasty.
provided, of course, we're doing this next year, right? We're gonna.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
our
I hope
last
you are.
podcast of the year for
What do you mean
2020.
provided that you're doing it next year? What the hell is that?
Oh,
What
well,
else we got
we're
going?
gonna
You
do
know,
it
what
next
else
year.
we got going?
We're gonna
I
make,
still want to do
we're gonna
a
make more films next year. We're gonna do a lot
Yes,
of things
we are.
next year.
John,
I'm gonna get a job next year.
A comedy podcast. So I think we need to do get Ozbek on board for a comedy podcast where we do silly sketches. You know, like National Lampoon Radio style.
Was that not the idea that I brought in the summertime?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Let's do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not claiming it as my idea. I'm saying we're gonna do it.
I have to say that's Ralph
That's
Scott.
great.
Ralph Scott and I have wanted to do that for a long time.
Cool. Can you write me in some of the sketches?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Tall guy in
here.
back.
I could do a Keith.
I'll
I could
do
do a good Keith Jackson.
Let's all
Yeah.
get together.
Oh,
and write-
you can? You can?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
hear it. Let's hear it now. Audition.
Oh, Nelly. From the banks of the Olentangy, it's Ohio State against Michigan. Michigan comes into the game 11-0, untested, unmolested in all the football world.
Oh, yeah. That totally rocks. Help me have that microphone too, John.
You're hired. You're hired.
High and mighty Buckeyes.
I'm seeing a sketch with
Yeah.
him and maybe who was the guy from the Cubs?
Carrie.
Carrie.
Harry Carey. Harry
Yeah,
Carey.
We get
Oh.
all the deceased
Right.
broadcasters. We get Cosell,
Oh, this is-
Jackson.
Oh,
Harry Carey.
I'm liking this.
Yeah, broadcasting. Yeah.
Broadcasting a game in heaven.
Oh.
Yeah, but maybe they're in hell, but so they're doing actually.
Maybe they are in hell. Maybe they
There
are
you
in
go.
hell. Yeah. Howard Cosell was kind of an asshole.
Howard
Hit the went through the window. I think it was the hole in one.
What's your favorite planet?
Oh man, that is so funny, Johnny. That's what I love about John Whitney. You never know
You never know what you're gonna get.
It's just
what's in there. What's in there that's been just in storage that just might pop out at any given moment.
That's one of those. I've been doing that impression forever, but I rarely bring it out.
Nice.
great,
Well, thank
John.
you. It was a nice
Really
holiday treat
Thank you.
Well, you
Yeah,
got
for
the
sure.
job, kid. You got
for
the job.
sure.
Be in that skit.
A couple more questions before we split. One from Sarah Miller that we'll get to as well. Where'd Hansberry go?
Hi, Sarah Miller.
Real quick, don't think about it. Hansberry, favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, Home Alone.
All right, Whitney, favorite Christmas movie?
It's a Wonderful Life. Come on, man. What else is there?
What else was there? Chip,
It's a Wonderful Life.
Osbeck.
Yeah, it's a wonderful life. That's a tradition that we have.
Wow,
Yeah, me too.
It's not a
Before we
Christmas
get it's not.
We watch the Christmas movies.
We had a 2-part Christmas special.
It took you the
For
second
crying out
half
loud.
even for it to
It's
snow.
a 2-part.
There's 2 hours where you don't even know it's a Christmas
two-part
movie.
Christmas special based on it. How can you say it's not a Christmas movie?
They just tack
You-
a Christmas ending on it.
Oh,
not a
No,
come
man. No. And it's wonderful for life for me as well. But Hansberry, to your credit, I was channel surfing the other night, and there are some moments in Home Alone that first of all, you know, you talk about. Krista said earlier that I speak the truth in 2020. I don't know if as I get older, I have less testosterone and more estrogen, but I cry at the drop of a freaking hat anymore. But I still tear up on Home Alone when he has that conversation with the old man that he was afraid of in the church.
Yeah.
And
Christmas
then
Eve.
when he's peering through the window and the old man has decided to make peace with his son, and you know they're just hugging at the door. You never see the son, you never see anything, but that just makes me
Maybe you should call him. Yep.
That's a Chris Columbus
Chris Columbus.
move, man. He's a great move on it. That's what he does.
Yeah, there's
Put
just
those moments in there.
there's some wonderful moments in Home Alone that still and another one that makes It's a Wonderful Life. Obviously, I have a lot of moments in it that make me cry, but especially at the end when George's brother comes in after flying in, and he realizes that if he had never been born, that his brother would have never lived, and so forth and so on. That gets to me. Miracle on 34th Street, when the little girl who doesn't speak English, and they bring her into Santa Claus, and Kris Kringle talks to her in her native tongue, and the mom or whoever's her guardian at that point is just take that for some reason makes me.
I think I got something in my eye.
Right.
One of the most emotional moments from another Christmas movie that gets me every single time, and it's somewhere towards the middle to end of it, and Hans Gruber says, he says, shoot the glass.
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 His feet has no shoes on it.
Another not Christmas movie.
Have any of you seen? It's available on some sort of website. It is a treetop ornament.
Yeah.
For the top of the tree. That's the building, and Bruce Willis. Yeah,
I have to validate my brother's.
That is one amazing treetop ornament.
I think George Wolfe, our film buff buddy, might have that.
I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
Shoots the glass.
Yeah.
So to have a little Hans Gruber falling off the building.
Yeah. Favorite Christmas Santa, and I got to ask because my favorite Christmas Santa has switched this year. Kurt Russell is a hell of a Christmas.
The Christmas
Santa.
Chronicles.
He's
on
a
Netflix.
hell of a Santa.
The Christmas Chronicles.
Right, yeah,
2 movies now.
That's good.
Christmas
Those are
Chronicles
good.
with his
They're
wife
good.
Goldie Hawn in the second one, and the first one. Yeah, man.
The first one.
He's balls out. He's balls out Santa.
He's great Santa.
And the first one, his wife is it's at the very end as like a little hey, it's like a little like a
cameo at the end. Yeah,
like a little cameo. It's crazy. And they do such a great job. And the second one is just as amazing. It's crazy.
What are the name of the movies?
Christmas
Chronicles. Yeah,
on
It's on
Netflix.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a kids movie, but it's a fun watch.
That's what my daughter said.
And Kurt
That's what my
Russell
daughter said.
is a hell of a Santa.
They're kids movies, but they're enjoyable for adults as well.
I remember when it first came out. I liked the first The Santa Claus
With Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first Santa Claus.
We just watched that with the kids. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm gotta be honest. I don't think I've seen the whole thing. I don't think I've seen that whole
Santa Claus all the way through.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the whole thing through. Sorry,
Tim Allen. I just found this fact. In 1994, Tim Allen had the #1 movie with the Santa Claus, and the #1 TV show with Home Improvement, and the #1 book with "Don't Stand Next Too Close to a Naked Man" or something like that. He was killing it in 1994.
Yeah, he was killing it in '94. That's right.
Well, you know what? And that's all he had to do. All you got to do in show business is kill it one year and you're set.
Yeah.
Right?
But getting back to Die Hard, that was the Christmas movie that kicks off all the Christmas movies for us. We watched that Thanksgiving night. That kicks it off. And then we start watching incrementally all the Christmas movies until we get to It's a Wonderful Life, Christmas Eve. Which is still it's a great movie. It's a Wonderful Life. It's timeless, even to this day. And when I was a kid growing up, it was broadcast free to all the affiliates. That's why it's so popular, because people just played it all the time when I was a kid growing up. So we would always watch it every year. So it brings back a lot of memories. I passed that on to my kids. So
nice job.
No, as well you should. Yeah. Because it was not a success when it first came out. It's because the licensing ran out, that they were able to show it ad nauseum, and it found a whole different audience. That's why it became the holiday classic that it is today, and is well deserved to be. It's I've not yet watched it this year, because anybody if you can go back in our archives, it's with Johnny D. Loretto. We actually watched the entire movie and did commentary on It's a Wonderful Life, and it was interesting to hear how that movie affected us in different ways throughout the film at different times. There's different moments that just reflect and not to get sentimental again, but if there was ever a year where I felt like George Bailey, this would be the year for me. Where and then I go back to what I said earlier in the podcast. And I will quote Johnny, your brother Eric. Remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. I got friends. I got great friends, and sometimes I forget that. Sometimes it gets lost in the murk of everything else that's going on. And I need to remember that I do have great friends and I can count on those great friends. And I've never been one to lean on my friends more than I think I should, but it's good to know that I can. It's good to know that I can. And I forget that sometimes.
Well, because we love you, Dino. We love you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You're a true friend, and
likewise, brother. All of you.
Here, here.
So, on a lighter note, let's not close on a maudlin, sentimental note. Most embarrassing.
Why would we do that?
Most embarrassing Christmas moment that you've ever had.
Oh, that's a question from Stoffer, right?
That was actually from Sarah Miller. I believe.
Miller. Sorry.
Sarah Miller. Oh, she's
Miller.
great. I love Sarah Miller.
Miller Stoffer, the law firm of Miller and Stoffer.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. But most embarrassing Christmas moment that you've ever had. I'll start it off. I know exactly what mine was.
Mine's not family friendly. So.
It's just it was when I was living in Steubenville, Ohio, and my grandmother made avgolemono, which is a Greek soup, a lemon soup with rice in it. It's delicious, and I ate a lot of it. One of the things that I wanted for Christmas was a Strombecker racing set, classic racing set.
Like slot cars?
Slot cars, yes, because there was a hobby shop down the street in Steubenville, Ohio, where you could take your car if you wanted to and race it, and Strombecker was like the Cadillac of racing sets. And my Uncle Chris got me a Strombecker racing set. And I was so excited when I got it that I threw up. And I threw up
all over it?
No.
Okay.
My grandmother would have been thrilled if I would have thrown up on the Strombecker racing set. But because I wanted to protect it, I moved it out of the way and threw up on everything else under the tree that was under there. Everything else under the tree. And I threw up and I don't. Yeah, and, I thought you were gonna. I'm not talking like an ERP. I'm not talking like a burp.
Like projectile.
I'm talking about every ounce of lemon soup that was. It was like wow,
projectile.
Wow. all over.
Nice.
And an avgolemono egg lemon soup Christmas.
Oh man!
And oh my God! I felt so bad. I ruined Christmas. Because anybody that had to open up a present after that had to wipe off.
Wait through your barf.
wipe off my.
Oh my God!
So how was that your fault, Dino? How was that your fault?
It was my grandmother's fault for making a wonderful soup and me for eating too much of it. But yeah. The happy note is not an ounce on the Strombecker racing set. A beautiful story. So since I led that off, and now you know where the bar is.
Yeah.
Projectile vomiting.
Yes.
No, I tap
Anybody?
out. Nothing could beat that.
Anybody want to chime in with an embarrassing moment?
I can't think of one.
Well, I got the same thing, same vomitous story. I was 16 years old. We have this huge. This is years ago, back in the early 80s. I was 16, and we have this huge family gathering. My mom's side of the family is absolutely huge. My mom's side is like they have 7 kids on my grandparents' side, so I have 58 cousins, right? And everybody showed up to this hall. We have a hall every Christmas forever until, recently, like maybe in the last 10 years. So I show up as a 16-year-old, and there's this like bottle of Dewar's just laying around. I pick it up and I pour this giant tall glass of it and a little tiny bit of 7-Up. And I start drinking it, and I'm like, I'm kind of like just being chill. Cool. Yeah, and I'm hanging out, and I'm like flirting with my cousins that are maybe twice removed. I don't know. Who knows, right? So then there's a point where, okay, I'm trashed. I'm gone. I kind of like black out. And then the next day they tell me what happened. My brother-in-law, Dave, had to drag me into the bathroom and trying to make me throw up. I wouldn't throw up. He said, no, he's done. He's done. I was yelling at him, calling him a dick. I said, I hate you. I hate you. You and your horse bites. I hate you. He used to pinch us with his fingers like this, and he called them horse bites, and it hurt like all kinds of hell. So he goes, nah, he's done. He's done. He's empty. He's empty. So they took me out. Oh, here's what got him. My mom goes, hey, Chipper, take the pastries out to the gremlin. And she said car, but it was a gremlin. And I go, okay. And I pick up this big tray of pastries that are all these nice pastries. I walk out to the gremlin, and I open up the back hatch, and I do remember this, and I threw the pastries into the back, and they all went everywhere into the gremlin. And I closed the hatch, and I went in, and I fell down in the snow. And my uncle was about to drive away and goes, we're getting out of here now. And he took off, and he told me this later. He goes, we're getting out of here. Let's go. And they took off because they saw me laying in the snow going, Someone picked me up, got me inside. That's when Dave brought me into the bathroom. They bring me out into the gremlin. They put me into the front seat of the gremlin. And then I go, I'm sorry. Blarb! And everything.
All over the
For
gremlin.
a year, my mom was still finding chunks of vomit.
Oh my God!
From the
year-old chunks.
Console. Yeah, from the console. They took me home. They stripped me naked. My brother-in-law Dave took pictures of me because he was a photographer back then. He's like, "Ooh, this is funny." So they got me in the tub. It's a bubble bath, and you see me naked at 16 years old. Nowadays, when you look at the photo, I go, "Hey, I didn't, man, I weighed a lot less than I do now." So
thank God there's no internet back then, dude.
I woke up. I know, right? I woke up hungover. I know. I woke up hungover, not knowing what happened, and my mom made me deliver my Sunday papers on my paper route, and I had hungover. That was probably the most embarrassing Christmas moment right there.
A 16-year-old naked Chip.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah,
would be which today, if he would have been around, would have been part of a Mapplethorpe exhibit.
Exactly.
That's
right.
Naked at Christmas would have been the theme.
Oh
I think.
my God.
Anybody who doesn't know who Mapplethorpe is, look it up. I don't have time to explain.
It reminds me of the art gallery in Love Actually, the one who has, when they're doing the art gallery. Yeah. That's what it would have been.
Exactly.
Classy.
Thanks, Chip. Thanks for sharing that. Getting that off your chest, buddy.
Yeah, I was a kid. What are you gonna do? And I never drank ever since.
Yeah.
Glug, glug, glug.
That happened like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, totally learned my lesson.
Oh man. So in closing, gentlemen, and there's been a lot of fun questions from people that I wish we had more time to get to. Moving forward in 2021, let's leave on an optimistic note, shall we? Not that this hasn't been fun and optimistic in a lot of ways, it has. But moving forward in 2021, what are you thinking? I'll go backwards. I'll start with Chip on the bottom row. Moving forward.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to things getting back to a sense of normalcy. You know, I'm hoping. I know this show's not political, and thank God it's not. You know, I don't want to be political, but
We've gotten political,
I know, but
reluctantly so.
yeah,
so
and I
not,
said I
not to be
don't want to break the norm.
divisive.
Yeah, I don't want to break the norm.
No, you know, I don't. You know, say what you want to say.
I just want this certain individual who's in the White House not right now to just kind of fade away. It's not going to happen, but I'm hoping we can all come together and find a happy medium to make 2021 right for everybody. You know, that's what I really want. You know, I'm looking forward to going back to the movie theater and seeing a movie in the movie theaters. And not on my big screen TV. My big screen TV is awesome, but you know, I would rather be in a movie theater because when I sit way in the back of the movie theater, I'd be like, that screen's too small. Well, you know, I want to be in the theater and see the damn big screen. You know, that's what I want to do. I'm looking forward to it. And sharing it with friends. I really miss hanging out with friends. That's what I really miss a lot too. I miss
not to encapsulate it in a generic nutshell, but there are some simple pleasures in life that you want to return.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be my thing. Yeah, definitely.
Osbeck?
Well, without getting too sentimental, I mean,
you can get sentimental.
Look at me. I did.
How did Chip know which
you're there? You're there.
I'm still getting confused.
I'm doing a Brady Bunch thing here. I'm doing.
He's looking. He's like that's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah. I'm doing the Brady Bunch thing. You know, I'm a trained actor.
Well, my fellow thespian, let's talk about this.
It's like
get sentimental. Don't be afraid to get sentimental.
Actually, that deserves a round of applause for Chip being aware of the fact that Osbeck was to his right.
Yes.
And I'm going to now do an aside to the audience.
For the people listening to this podcast, another reason to follow
to watch it. Yeah.
Another reason to watch it.
Go ahead, John.
I'm sorry to interrupt, John. Go ahead.
I can't remember the exact quote, but I read something from my family when they came over for Hanukkah, and it was talking about why it's important to light the lights of Hanukkah. Mm-hmm. And this rabbi talked about thinking about the lights of Hanukkah and thinking about every person having a light within themselves, and to recognize that every person does have a candle, some kind of light that's within them, and that every light is different. Right, every person's light is unique, but it's important for them to let it shine. And I think what I'm getting to is that, man, I really want this next year to be full of looking at people and for us to just kind of like to love each other because we're humans and because we share this frickin' place, and to realize that everybody has dreams and things that they want, and just kind of ready for the hate to be gone. Really ready for the hate to be gone. That's what I look forward to, because there's so many other things to find joy in, like spending time here with all of you and my friends, and I'm just tired of the hate. I'm ready for some love. Ready for some good big love in 2020.
Yeah. I hear you, brother.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whitney.
Oh shit.
All that, John.
Look to your right so you can talk to Hansberry if you want to.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Hold on, bro. What up,
Chip? Around a little bit, Greg. Yeah.
What up, Osbeck?
There you go.
How you doing, man?
Rock on, brother.
I just figured it out.
Good.
Thankful to Chip.
Let's all look at Greg.
Yeah.
Sorry, the only thing I can say, I'm just kind of echoing the same thing that John is saying. Is like I am, this past, how long has it been since, like, is it March?
Yeah.
It's March when we started to get a real taste, and it was March when the worst thing we had to worry about was like, oh my God, do I have enough toilet paper?
Yeah.
That was our biggest concern in March, and then it just kind of took on this life of its own that it has.
Settled into the new reality. I really do miss going places without worrying, and hanging out with people that aren't really in my circle. I mean, even though we hang out sometimes, Dino, we're still we're in the circle, but we still are in contact with people that aren't in our circle. And I just, the worry of, and I know there's some people who don't believe that I should be worrying.
I know.
And you should be worrying, but I miss hanging out with my son and his girlfriend, and I miss hanging out with Gil and his family, and all because of this bullshit we've been going through, and I miss all of that, the interpersonal relationships, in person. I miss that so much, and I hope that by the time, hopefully everyone will get inoculated in the next 6 months, and hopefully this summer is going to be balls out, naked, sweaty people running around. And just having all kinds of fun.
Yeah, what? Yeah, an endorsement for sweating and being balls out naked. I'm just saying, I applaud that.
No, I hear you.
I applaud a world where we could be sweaty and balls out naked.
Well,
I do.
Yeah, I mean that as a metaphor,
right? I understand you do, but
the weirdest metaphor ever.
The fact that
very weird,
that you will feel safe being around somebody who's balls out naked and sweating and not worry would be a beautiful thing.
I want to be able to hug my sweaty son without worrying about who the fuck he's
Here we go.
But
You don't want to touch his sweaty balls,
but not naked. Not naked.
Because that would be weird.
It would be really weird. Yes. All right, Hansberry, you're up, buddy.
I forget the question.
Dino, repeat
what would you like? Dino, what would you like to see in 2021 for yourself, your family, or whatever, man?
No,
whatever.
No, I mean, I mean, I agree with all you guys about just some of the simple things and not hesitating, be like, I don't know, should I go over and should I go to my brother-in-law's house? I don't know. Should I? Like basic simple things that you would do every day. Yeah. The other thing that I think like the biggest thing is all of this just put a giant pause button on every fucking thing. So it's just like I feel like I've been treading water, and I already said it earlier. I'm lucky because I'm, as of now, knock on wood, I still have a job, and knock on wood, we're not sick. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like we've just been treading water to try not to get sick or to remain employed. Yeah. I'm just waiting for there hasn't been any growth one way or the other for everybody, really. And it's just kind of frustrating when you when you're just stagnant, just waiting. Basically all we could do is just wait this out. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, and there's nothing we could do about it besides kind of take care of ourselves. So I'm just looking forward to, getting out there and growing and spreading our wings. Like we talked about, our on-site podcasts have been canceled, or in-person ones, and that's just scratching the tip of the iceberg about some of this stuff. So, I guess I don't have anything else to add except for the fact that I just I'm ready to go forward. Come on. I feel like this was a wasted year in my prime. Yeah. I'm in my stride, baby. Let's go. What's holding me back?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's interesting because it all comes down to perspective. You say kind of a wasted year, but I bet if you and I were sitting and talking individually, I'd be able to sway you on some level and tell you that it hasn't been a wasted year because right. because you've learned a lot about yourself.
It was a break that we all needed a little bit,
and your fellow human beings.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of been my takeaway in 2020 and moving forward into 2021 is that I've learned an infinite amount about myself and my fellow human beings. Mm-hmm. I've always casually said that, I make no qualms about where I'm at in life and how old I am and so forth and so on. And, I'm 61, I'll be 62 next year. I'll be eligible for Social Security
Damn.
next year.
A young 62.
A young 62.
Damn.
But
I'm 20.
yeah, you know what? In some ways, I
42 years older than you.
in some ways, I still feel 20 in a lot of ways, you know, and looking ahead to 2021, you know, I always talk about this next chapter, and I honestly thought that in 2020 that next chapter would begin, but to put it in a writing metaphor or analogy, whatever you want to choose, I feel that in 2020, whether it was purposeful or accidental, I got writer's block, and I didn't get to do it. I didn't get to put that next chapter in play, and I have no guarantees that magically something will happen January 1 of 2021. I can be hopeful because everybody looks at a new year as a fresh slate, a new beginning, much like we did in 2020. I said it in the beginning of the podcast. You know, 2020 seemed like this awesome number. 2020, you know, the perfect vision, and then it turned to shit. And what we've done and adapted and dealt with during that shit, I think, is a reflection on how we'll move forward in 2021. I've learned a lot of valuable lessons in this year, and they've been some hard ones, some harsh ones, but they've also been some very good ones. And I say good because they've been harsh,
Resilient,
and because they've been difficult. And you know, and I hate that, you know, to make a cliche, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
But you know, there's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. There's some truth. So
You should be the fucking Hulk, man. You're fucking strong, man. The fucking Hulk, buddy.
But moving forward, my hope is that I is get back to starting that next chapter, whatever it is. I still feel that I got something left in the tank, and I just maybe have lost a little bit of track as to where it might be in the tank. But when I sit here and talk with you guys on a regular basis and stop a moment to think, I need to stop. And when we've all been guilty of it, I'm sure we've all been guilty of moments of where we've had maudlin moments where you just feel bad and almost feel occasionally sorry for yourself, or like, oh, woe is me. Fuck that. I have to stop moments like that. I have to think about the gifts that I have, the gifts that I've built up and cultivated and nurtured over the years, and use them. Shame on me. I'm not using them to the extent that I should. And moving forward, I hope to do that in 21, because it'll benefit me selfishly, but I hope in some kind of strange way or good way that it benefits others. You know, I miss the fact, Hansberry, you said not getting out in front of people. I miss the fact that we're not doing our Christmas show at the Funny Bone. One of the things that I look forward to each and every year, you know, raising money for charity, for charity, you know, having that, being in that drunken stupor on stage at the Funny Bone for 30 years in a row. And then this year not being able to do it. You know, I miss that. I miss that. But once again, I'm going to come full circle and thank each and every one of you and everybody who's been chiming in on Facebook Live tonight, and everybody who listens to Whiskey Business on a regular basis, who has supported this podcast and kept our enthusiasm and incentive for doing this podcast. This is we started our 5th year in October of 2020. I want to thank you sincerely for everything that you've done to keep us motivated and inspired to continue to do this. And I don't take that lightly. I don't. I forget sometimes, but I don't take it lightly. And I'm telling you right now, in this moment, that I'm remembering everything. So thank you. On that final note,
Yeah, baby.
yeah, man. God bless all of you. Hansberry, thank you for a great 2020. Whitney, thank you for a great 2020. Chip and John, thank you for being very dear friends through 2020 and all the years previously. Hansberry, we're going to dispense with the business. I don't want to
Just subscribe. Click and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Merry Christmas.
I hope that everybody is doing their very best to get through this, and together in 2021, we'll continue to get through it and improve and get better until this is our last podcast of the year, and until the next bottle. God bless. See ya.